What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video of Bad Life. See what we got right here. Yep, got good old S65. Reason why we're making this video today is because starter's going bad on this car. So if you guys know, normally on these cars, on this engine specifically, I'm not too sure about any other engines, but I did do my research a bit on this engine, and I have seen this previously before. So normally on these cars, what happens is there's a starter solenoid on the starter, and I guess this starter solenoid starts losing contact, or the grounds on the starter solenoid start going bad, and it prevents the car from starting when it's hot or when it's cold. I've seen it happen, you know, when the car gets too hot, it won't start. And then I've also seen it with this situation here, where the car sits overnight, it won't start. And then when it's hot, it starts every single time. Sits overnight again, won't start. So we're here. We're gonna replace the starter on this. I guess we'll make this another DIY. Reason why we have so many DIYs in the first place is because, you know, either a lot of people, I know for me personally, before I started actually working on cars as like a profession, a lot of the time I would catch myself watching DIYs. Sometimes not because I wanted to do the job, but just because I was interested. You know, a lot of people watch these DIYs just to see what the job entails. Here we go. First thing to do always when you do a starter, you always want to make sure that the battery's disconnected. So I'm just gonna go to the back, disconnect that real quick, and then we'll get, you know, back to the front here. Clip right here. This, not a clip, but a plug. So you want to press this to remove this. You want to press this and then pull downward. Don't want to pull too hard because you don't want to break this kind of stuff. But that comes up out the way. There's also a line that goes around here. So you guys can see it goes down to like right there. Can't see it yet, but you can remove that after we remove. You guys can see that. Those are what we have to release, those hose clamps right there. I believe they're all 6mm. You can use an extension, a 6-inch extension, and try to get to those. Loosen them up on both sides. It's kind of tight over here, but you gotta loosen all four, and then lift the plenum upwards. That's what we're about to do. I loosened all those hose clamps, and now I'm here. So there's a line, like another line under the front part of this plenum you want to take off. If it's a little stuck at first because it hasn't come off before, just, you know, you want to kind of just left and right, left and right, left and right, and then pull up. Not too hard so you break stuff. So there's another hose on the driver's side corner here in the back of the plenum that you have to remove. It's I'll show you right now when I get it off. And let me remind you guys, this is the first time you guys are removing this plenum. Some of the stuff might be really stuck on, so, you know, don't worry, just be patient. And there you go. So this one actually broke, but here's the bottom of the plenum, the one I was talking about that you want to get. And then at the back here, in this back corner right there, there's another one, and I'll show you that a little close up. This right here. So you want to just squeeze these two in like that, pull down. Like I said, if that was on for a long time, hasn't been removed, it's gonna be kind of hard to get these kind of hoses off. Next up here, so for this job, the starter's actually under all of this. So this is the part of the job that obviously I think it's probably kind of tedious. I don't say hard, but it's a lot of plugs you got to take off, connectors you got to remove. But we're gonna start off here by just putting some shop towels all in there, because you don't want anything to fall inside. Then we're just gonna get to unplugging a bunch of stuff. Alright guys, so we're back. Put tissues all in here, shop towels. So there's a couple things I already started disconnecting. Let me show you exactly what I started disconnecting, just so you can kind of follow along. So I disconnected this. I don't think I had to. I just noticed that this line was going under there, so I guess I didn't have to. I took this off. Plug. I guess plugs to the thermostat here. Another plug right here. There's another plug right down here. You see that? It's like oil temperature sensor of some sort. Right down there. This looks like it might be an AC compressor. Disconnected that. That's gonna go over there, so you actually gotta get that down there. This right here, go off. Both the throttle actuators, plugs off. I don't really know what this is. I believe it's maybe O2 sensor wiring. Not too sure, but this is off also. Plug up here for the secondary air pump, I believe, or something else. And then next we're gonna start removing this fuel breather valve. And I already started taking out there's 3 10mm bolts that go around this horseshoe here that's holding the secondary air pump in place, and then 2 T30, one right here. You guys can see that. So one right here, right where I'm pointing, and another on the other side right there. And then that should remove that whole horseshoe. Get that out the way, then we can start removing the whole secondary air pump out of the middle and some of the hoses and stuff on the back. Alright, so we got the secondary air pump out. So now we had to remove this line right here off of it. There's a plug back here. It's kind of hard to get to. You guys gotta pull the secondary air pump to put your hand back there to get it. And now that's out of the way. So right now what I'm gonna start doing is releasing all these 10mm, 10mm, another 10mm, another 10mm back here too. And I believe those are 2 external Torx bolts. That's gonna allow this whole thing to start coming up, just so I can see what else I need to unplug. I did take fuel breather off. So I took this hose off and I just kind of fished this out of the way. Now you want to be really gentle with that hose. You don't want that to crack, then you're gonna replace it. There are a lot more plugs than I thought there actually were for this whole rat's nest here. So, first things first, you guys have to remove all of the driver's side injector plugs, connectors. You guys can see here. There are 2 grounds right here on the valve cover. So one right here, and there's also one down here. It's like right there. It bolts into the valve cover. You gotta remove all the ignition coil plugs. I believe these are cam sensors. Gotta remove both the plugs that are cam sensors. And there's the whole, all these plugs under here for the throttle actuators and all different kind of stuff. I don't know what that's for, but you gotta remove all that. I think that's for the idle air control valve there. Up front here, also a couple things I missed. So there's one plug that goes all the way to the bottom, which is this one. And then there's one right here. It's like on the bottom of the head of this passenger side head. So you gotta press this and unclip that. Stick a bunch of wires, and then as long as you can get all this up, this will move up and out of your way. I recommend using like a bungee cord or something just to have this out of the way so you have access in the middle, and then we're gonna work on getting the idle air control valve out. Yeah, we got the 2 stooges right here. Yeah. Mr. Amstel and Mr. Demir Bass. How you doing? How you doing? Alright, so we got bungee cord. Oh, so we disconnected this right here. This hose goes between here and into the idle air control valve. So I just pulled this straight up. This actually like presses in to the bottom of the idle air control, so you just gotta pull it up really hard. And then next we gotta remove this bracket, then we can start unbolting the starter. But I'm gonna take this out and actually clean it, because once before, I don't know if you remember, you got that code, remember? The idle air control.
Oh yes.
So, and it looks pretty gunked up in there, and the idle was kind of up and down a little when I was driving it this morning. So we're gonna just clean that up, see if we can, you know, kind of save that, because it's not really that bad right now, and see what that does. So you guys see in there, it's really gunked up. I don't know how much this is gonna save it, but we're gonna try. So I got some throttle body air cleaner and air intake cleaner, AutoZone. So we're just gonna kind of. Alright guys, I had to teach Mr. Amstor how to start an E36 that he drives all the time. Sorry.
I only do track cars, my bad.
Oh, my fault. This is a daily driver right here. Alright, so I already sprayed a little in there, and you guys can see, like, it's, you know, it's kind of like breaking up all the, you know, the gunk in there. You can already see that plate's a lot cleaner than it was, but, you know, we're just trying to eliminate all that, and you can see on this side it's pretty gunked up. We gotta get a tissue.
What do you clean on it?
So we're gonna use we use this, and a combination with that, and maybe like a shop towel or like a rag or a microfiber or something. We're just gonna kind of wipe on the inside, clean it up, and make sure that, I mean, we don't see as much of the, you know, gunk and dust and dirt in there as we did before. Oh, okay. All right, so this is the bracket that the idle air control valve sits on, right here. It's held on by two T30. Oh, okay. I get that with a magnet, but two T30 screws like this on top, and it's kind of blocking the starter, so you actually have to take this out the way. All right, so then next we're gonna attack the starter. We're gonna get both these connections off and that plug. So here, there's a plug that's on the starter, one of those like press clip plugs. There we go. Wow. So like I said earlier, these, like, if they haven't been removed before or in a long time, they're gonna be kind of hard. Just take your time with them, because all this stuff is like plastic, and you don't want to break these connectors and hoses and stuff. But anyways, you can get this hose like up out the way, and then we're gonna take, I believe this is a 13, and take the ground and the power wire off the starter, and then we can start unbolting it from the back. Alright, so I got a 13mm nut right here. Take here the ground off, ground strap, and then the power, and now we can get to removing this from the back. So we got a couple bolts here. So the one at the top is actually a T30. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. And I believe the ones on the side here are E12, our external Torx bolts. So let's get started on that.
What's going on over there, Phil?
Here's the problem. Problem is, you gotta get a T30 back here, right?
Okay.
Not an issue, right? But I don't want this bolt to strip. Here's that T30 bolt right here. So that's right at the top here. So I can't stress this enough. You want to make sure that this is all the way seated in the bolt. You guys see that? Before you start twisting this left and or right, because these will strip so easily, and if it strips, you're gonna have a hard time getting that out. You might need some screw extractors and stuff. So you just want to make sure that that's fully seated. We're gonna go tackle the E12 bolts. Those are at the bottom on each side right there. Those two, when you have the E12 socket on it, you want to make sure that those are, you know, those go right on the top of the head of the bolt, and, you know, just to make sure you're not rounding off or stripping anything. I think this has been replaced before. BMW uses Vallejo starters. I believe this has been replaced before because it doesn't have a BMW stamp on it. Just says Vallejo, so this is a replaceable, bro. Car got 120 something thousand miles. Honestly, I think these go out like every 60,000. So I'm just gonna put that right there. Let me get the bolts out.
Some technical difficulties with the heater.
No. Made in Hungary. You're starving over here. These thread into the back here, like so. You just want to kind of make sure that these go all the way through. Ooh. Don't want to drop that. Sometimes I just want to check, make sure that they, these threads are clear to go through, because these aluminum bolts will snap sometimes. Alright, so we got the starter in. We just took a little bit of a break because it's kind of freezing over here, but whatever. We're back now. So T30 all in. Obviously, I put these in a little by hand first. And I had a little tool to actually help me out with the E12s because it's kind of hard. I couldn't remove that hose back there, so I actually have a ratcheting wrench for an E10 and E12. This would help you significantly. It's a gear wrench. I actually bought this off of Amazon just to help you guys get back there and kind of twist the bolt in. This would significantly help. You can also do it with an E12 ratchet, E12 with a ratchet. But it would help if you guys could get this out of the way. I'm just gonna pull that off, so I didn't even bother. But everything is tightened down now, and just gotta put this now on. So the power strap wire here on the starter, and then the ground, and then there. You got here 13 millimeter. Just back on, and we're chilling. Alright, so run into a little issues over here. Number one, we're putting a Bosch starter in, not a Vallejo unit. So the Vallejo unit allows you to plug this back into the starter with no problem. There's a little too much material right here on this part of the starter, so it doesn't allow the plug to go all the way through. So we're just gonna shave it, cut some of that out, and then we'll probably be able to plug in. I'm gonna chop that out with my trusty Dremel tool. Alright, so I ground down that piece that's under this. You guys can see all the dust and the debris and crap over this, but I ground that down, and I was able to actually get the plug on there.
That's only on the Bosch starters. On the Vallejo OEM, there's enough space for the to go on.
What?
Button everything up. Well, almost.
Alright, so we finally finished after a couple breaks and that.
Wow. Wow.
So it starts up a lot faster. It's a lot more instant, and on top of that, the best thing is the idle air control valve. After cleaning that out, now it idles a lot better. When I turn the steering wheel, idle raises, AC, things like that, heat, whatever. You can see the idle actually sits up a little higher, so that's good. And I mean, feels pretty good. What do you think?
I think it feels great. Starts up like a champ.
Yeah, so I don't think it's too hard of a job for someone to do. It's just time consuming. So if you're thinking about doing this, we're gonna obviously put the tools and everything that you need to do the job. I say go ahead, take a crack at it, and see what you can do. So any other thoughts?
From an amateur's perspective, you know, it's a little involving, but to pay BMW $2,100, you know, I think I'm gonna take the weekend myself and my amateur DIY self, and I'm gonna try to tackle it.
Hit us up in our Instagram, and you can just let us know in the comments if you have any questions. And I guess that's it for this video. So, God life.